From the conflict continues. The world is watching to see if there are any signs of an end in sight. The Turkish foreign minister says he's been in regular contact with the Iranians and the Gulf nations.
I think every 2 or 3 days I speak to my Iranian counterparts, and my feeling is that, they feel betrayed because second time they were attacked, during the talks. And so I think there is no reason for them now to openly mention about the discussions. But my guess is, I think they are open to any sensible back channel diplomacy. At least they should be. They should be. I think some messages maybe back and forth carry it, but first of all, we need to see the clear definition of the United States military objectives. So I think the President Trump is defining sometimes the military objectives. We need to come up with an endgame plan.
Phyllis Bennis is the co-director of the new internationalism project at the Institute for Policy Studies and is the author of Understanding the U.S.-Iran Crisis, and she joins us live from Washington, D.C. Phyllis, it's good to see you again. Thank you for being with us. We heard the Turkish foreign minister there, Hakan Fidan, talking about how there needs to be a back channel, but there also needs to be an understanding of what the objectives of this war is. The U.S. president and the Israeli prime minister have been talking in absolutes. Is there a point where they have destroyed enough of Iran's capabilities, where Iran is less enough of a threat that we could get to a point where there's a back channel?
Part of the problem that we face, Riley, is that from the beginning, from the moment that the U.S. and Israel illegally attacked Iran 13, 14 days ago, what we're seeing is an absolute unclarity, no clarity at all about what the goals are. We hear from Trump and his various aides, maybe there's about 7 or 8 different versions of what the purpose is, what they're fighting for. One thing, ironically, is that there are now clear possible off-ramps if they're interested in an off-ramp. But part of the problem is that while we've been hearing language from Trump claiming victory already, today he said that they have entirely decimated Iran, that it's over. But maybe they would want to go a little bit further. No one knows what that means. It seems to be just at the whim of what Trump is feeling at any particular moment, whether he says that they've killed enough people, damaged enough property, destroyed enough weapons, that now he can declare victory and go home, or whether he wants to still go further. The U.S. attack on Karg Island yesterday, the same sort of thing, in the midst of talk about how we are close to ending. It might be ending soon, lots of hints, but no clarity. And in fact, they go ahead and there are significant escalations underway by the U.S., by the Israelis, both in Iran and, of course, in Lebanon. And Iran then, of course, is responding as well. Both sides seem to be internationalizing the effort right now, which does not bode well for.
What does that mean, Phyllis? What does internationalizing the effort mean?
It means different things on different sides. I think that for Iran, it may be a response, at least partly, to the Security Council decision in passing the resolution on Wednesday, which held Iran responsible for the attacks on the surrounding Gulf states that host U.S. military bases, but said not one word about the role of the United States and Israel in starting this war, violating the crime of aggression, what the Nuremberg trials called the supreme international crime from which all other war crimes come. There was not a hint, there was not a mention of any offensive military action by anyone other than Iran, a completely one-sided resolution that was supported, I think, out of fear of United States consequences if they did not, co-sponsored by 138, I think it was, countries not even members of the Security Council, members of the General Assembly, of course. So in that context, I think that Iran may be responding to that international position. The U.S. internationalizing it means demanding of allies that they send warships.
Right.
Sending a bunch of new warships to the region is not going to help, but that's what they're asking for. They're saying that there should be warships coming from China, France, Japan, South Korea, the UK. We don't know which other countries. There's no indication that those countries have agreed to do so, but that's what the US is trying for, to get international, what they call protection of the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, in Israel, it has moved from a major assault on Iran, expanding that to a major escalation in Lebanon. Israel is now killing health workers, doctors, nurses, emergency workers. 31 have been killed so far, 51 wounded in more than 37 airstrikes against emergency medical workers. So this kind of escalation, there's now been over 800 Lebanese killed, mostly in the south, and there's now the threat of an Israeli occupation of South Lebanon, something that we haven't seen for some years yet.
If I may jump in, do you think that both sides are missing opportunities for off-ramps here, or do you think that neither side is looking for it at the moment?
I don't think we know whether the Iranians are looking for an off-ramp or not, but they certainly will not be looking for an off-ramp as long as the US and Israel are continuing their fight. The challenge, I think, globally, the challenge for the rest of the world, is that the US is showing no signs of being interested in an off-ramp. You know, they have given, as I mentioned earlier, they have given enough excuses for why are they going to war against Iran. Is it about nuclear weapons? Is it about the missiles? Is it about repression of protests? Is it about support for militias in other countries? It keeps going on and on. They could claim at any point, one of them was, we want to destroy their navy. Well, they pretty much have destroyed the Iranian navy. Maybe that's enough of an excuse to say, we've destroyed the navy. That's what we said we went to war for. It's done. Okay, we're done here. We're going to go home. They could say that. That's a good off-ramp. But there's just no indication yet that the U.S. is looking for an on-ramp, for an off-ramp. And clearly, the Israeli position for a long time has been, even if the U.S. chooses an off-ramp, we will continue. We will continue to go until yesterday, when Netanyahu changed his position just a bit to say to the Israeli people, we may not be able to achieve an overthrow of the regime, real regime change.
How long
so
before?
He's now hinting that he might go along with that.
How long before everybody else starts looking for an off-ramp for them? And by everybody else, I mean, we've already seen this from the Gulf states, who have been desperate for diplomacy to continue. How long until we start seeing it from Europe or from allies in Asia that are going to start buckling under the economic pressure of what's happening?
I wish I knew the answer to that. The position of these countries in the United Nations certainly did not help. The resolution that was passed on Wednesday that ignored the U.S. and Israeli obligations in this case made everything worse. It would reaffirm for anyone in Iran looking at this situation that they are isolated and they have no friends, which isn't precisely the case, but it's getting pretty close. So I think the question of when are other countries going to stop being so afraid of what the consequences might be in terms of Trump getting angry, imposing new sanctions, imposing tariffs, whatever it might be, get past that and start taking some responsibility for this internationalizing crisis.
Phyllis Bennis, always good to have you here on Al Jazeera. Thank you for joining us.